So I'm actually re-recording this because initially I just had one primary concern in regards to Metroid Prime 4. It was just the one. It has now evolved into two, possibly three. We'll see how I feel. But recently, they shadow dropped an overview trailer for Metroid Prime 4. It is coming out within the next couple of weeks. It is extremely close, and we will have this game in our hands after a decade plus, almost a decade actually, of just waiting on this game. This game was first announced, mind you, before the Switch 1 came out. That was 8 years ago, almost 9. So it's about time that we finally had this game in our hands, and we've been waiting and we've been waiting, and we finally got glimpses of it throughout the course of this year. And it's one of those things, right? It really sucks to feel this way, but I'm glad I'm feeling a little more validated knowing a big super fan of Metroid like Roger's Base is feeling the same way, in which the game is just in a situation in which it took so long. It took so long, and it's releasing during such a busy time that my excitement for it is seemingly not there yet or non-existent. It's just kind of dormant, maybe? I don't know, because I'm seeing the footage, I'm seeing Metroid Prime 4, and I'm thinking wow, it's almost here, it's looking great. It physically, it literally has beautiful looking graphics, easily one of Nintendo's best looking games by and far. They really let loose on this one. They really made this game as pretty as they could make it, right? For this, especially for the Switch 2 edition, it looks genuinely incredible. It's crazy, and I'm happy to see that they put in a lot of effort and love into crafting the world and general designs of this game, of its enemies, of Samus, and everything around it and within it, right? But right now, I'm just not as excited as I wished I could be about this game right now. And it's not the general advertisements were necessarily terrible or anything. They just weren't doing much for me, right? I mean, granted, the psychic powers are sick and everything like that. And again, maybe it's just one of those situations where it's because I'm not in a Metroid mood, and it's just it's just coming out during such a busy time right now, right? With all of the Nintendo releases alone, it's just so packed up, right? We have not on top of all the other information they shadow dropped, right? They shadow dropped the Pokopia stuff, that's going to be coming out in March. They shadow dropped a Switch 2 edition of Animal Crossing New Horizons with a major update that's probably going to give that game infinite life. You know what I'm saying? I just talked about this in my Mario Kart video, but they're dropping a full Kirby game this week, or within this week. We're getting a full Kirby Air Riders game, a game that people have been waiting on forever. You know what I'm saying? We just got Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. You know what I'm saying? We're getting the DLC for Pokemon Legends ZA in a couple of weeks. So, I'm obviously going to be wrapped up with that. Literally days after Metroid Prime 4 even comes out. It's just such a packed month. It's been such a packed month for Nintendo in terms of announcements and releases and just general information on games and stuff like that. And to just pile Metroid 4 on top of Metroid Prime 4 on top of that, it's just okay, this is starting to feel more we need to get this game out of the way now. Let's just drop it. Let's just whatever. We just need to get this game out of the way. And that really sucks to feel that way about something like Metroid, because, I know that Metroid isn't one of their biggest sellers, but it's an obviously very important IP to Nintendo. Everybody knows of Metroid, but not everybody has actually played Metroid. And, I'm in a situation in which I'm kind of newer to Metroid, right? Before Dread came out, I did my best to catch up with the general lore. I read the manga to start everything off, and then I started playing, I played Zero Mission, I played a little bit of, I think I did play Super. I obviously played Metroid Prime 1. And so, there was a situation in which I was just catching up as much as I possibly could, right? And so I was really, delving into Metroid, and then I got busy again. But one of my biggest concerns, one of the primary concerns that brought this video about actually, was the fact that I am concerned about one thing in particular, right? Two things in particular. One of those things being the fact that there is zero presence or realistic outcomes now that we get Metroid Primes 2 and 3. Why? That's the thing, right? When it came to Metroid, I was kind of banking on getting Metroid Prime 2 and 3 because I got into Metroid way too late. And so the only way for me to have played those games would have been to get the trilogy. But like, my Wii has been dead and done for ages now. So how in Sam Hell was I expected to be able to play the trilogy, right? And so they remastered Metroid Prime. I'm thinking, all right, awesome. And that was like, what, almost 2 years ago or something like that? So we're sitting here thinking like, okay, great. Like, this one's out. We'll eventually get Metroid Primes 2 and 3. And everybody will have no excuse not to be caught up for Metroid Prime 4, right? Like, that would have been perfect time to be able to take our time, really enjoy the story, really sink that in. I'll get all the new Metroid fans out there from Dread and stuff like that, grab them, get them invested in this version of the world, because these games are, while they are spin-offs, quote unquote, technically, not really, they're also canon to the story. They take place, a lot of them take place in between Metroid 2 and 3. So it's like, it's a weird situation when it comes to this timeline, but pretty generally straightforward. Like, it's its own subsections of stories. And so I was really banking on that, only for them to not even mention 2 and 3 as a possibility of ports coming to Switch 1 or 2. So that was concerning. And now here we are with Metroid Prime 4, and I feel like I feel like I'm doing it injustice if I were to just hop into it, because I feel like I don't know as much as I probably should. I mean, granted, I guess I could just watch some Let's Plays or something, or if I really wanted to, go the less, well, no, I guess nowadays it's the more desirable route if I really, really wanted to, but I'm not trying to put that kind of strain on my computer right now. It's not that serious. I just watch a Let's Play, but regardless, it's a very weird situation. Right? Does anybody else feel that way? Am I the only one that cares about Metroid Prime 2 and 3, or the fact that at least, never got the chance to play them and I really wanted to, but we just didn't get that chance? So I guess I'm just skipping out on it and just going from 1 to 4. I feel like that's kind of insane, but whatever, I guess. They're clearly, I mean, this is Nintendo we're talking about. When it comes to a lot of their games, especially newer gen games, they make it so, like, new player friendly that it usually doesn't matter all that much if you haven't played the previous games in the series, As somebody that's been covering Pokemon for the last couple of years, like, they've always done this with Pokemon. They've always done this with Zelda. They always do this, right? Metroid is of no exception. They always make it, like, usually new player friendly for the most part, right? You could just hop into Dread. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could definitely just hop into Dread. And in this case, yeah, you can just hop right into 4, I guess. That's the way they're advertising it. That's the way I'm going to go about it. Whatever, dog. And so, there's that. And then there's one other mild little concern that I could definitely agree with most people on. And that's the fact that they have a very unique situation with Metroid, in which I don't know who was in the writer's room. I don't know who thought this was a good idea to introduce quippy characters, or at least so far it's one singular quippy character, one that makes the really corny jokes, one that's talking about sitting in a cubicle with Phil and, preferring to actually have to fight monsters on another planet. Because that's what Metroid's about. That's what Metroid's about, is the office jokes and the really corny, whiny guy that always needs Samus's help and can barely hold himself in a fight, that you have to guide through these dangerous lands. That's what Metroid is about, right? Because I could have sworn it was about complete ambiance, complete loneliness, and traversal, learning, exploring, growing stronger, getting familiar with the lands, getting attuned with it in every way, shape, and form. And telling a story through visuals, telling a story through battles and fights and, moments. Not direct dialogue from a character that is yapping my ear off and screaming every single time a new enemy shows up. Huh? I mean, and this is coming from a relatively newer Metroid fan, mind you, right? I've only spent like a couple years with Metroid as a franchise, and you know, I enjoy it a lot. Metroid is a fire ass series. That's definitely a decision that they went with. Absolute mystery to me as to why they decided this was the way. This is the way to go about it, but who am I to stop them, I guess? I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of really, really neat things about Metroid. You know, the new psychic abilities, the graphical stylings of it is really cool. The area that they're exploring this time around looks really, really fun. I can't wait to get down and dirty with these puzzles. A little concerned about the bike situation, that hub world or whatever, that they said it was like something of a hub world even in the overview trailer, and it looks so barren. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point, right? Like it's little things here and there that's supposed to grab your attention, and you're like, oh, what's that? And you drive all the way over there on your motorcycle, which, I mean, for the most part, I'm not going to sit here and say that's not fitting for Samus. It's random as hell, but I'm not complaining about it. The cycle looks sick as hell, man. What is it called? Viola? That's fire, dog. But for the most part, yeah, the wastelands look a little barren. You know what I'm saying? I guess they throw like a couple of enemies at you every now and again to really spice things up when you're going from one place to the next. I don't know how often something like that is supposed to happen, but that's cool. There's a couple of collectibles that you can get around, which is really neat. But like, for the most part, I can't imagine we'll be spending too much time in there. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very awkward to be in this big, open, barren wasteland and only come across one important section every now and again. You know what I'm saying? And who knows how long we're even going to be spending with that. So it's just like, it's such a mess. It's such a weird situation with Prime 4. And I can tell a lot of people are definitely a little concerned about, you know, a couple of things here and there. But I don't know. It's weird. It's such a weird thing. And I don't know. We'll really have to play things by ear and see how it goes. So as of right now, I'm a little concerned about the fact that I'm not as hyped as I would have liked to be. The fact that there is no access to Metroid Prime 2 and 3, which means if there is any primary story relevance at all in 4, that it's just gonna have to be wikied or something beforehand if I really, really want that lore. Not that, again, these games have always been more gameplay oriented than anything. So like, as far as story goes, it's not the biggest deal in the world if it's not there, but at the same time, I like my story. I like my lore. That's also a little bit of a part of why I, you know, invested in these games. I wanted to learn more about Samus as a character. You know, that's why I was so invested in Zero Mission. I really wanted to learn more about her. You know, what happened. Everything in Dread was really, really cool. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just not the time yet. Maybe in a couple of weeks from now, the closer it gets, I'll definitely start feeling the hype more. But as of right now, I can't say I feel that way. But I don't know. I think we'll just have to see about all that. So, with that being said, I'm passing the mic on your direction, and I want you guys to tell me everything that you're thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact I'm always going to be down there with you guys. Do you agree that Metroid Prime 4 is just not grabbing you 100% just yet? Is it just not what you expected from the game? Maybe it just took a little too long, and so you're kind of just bumbling around in a little bit of a void, waiting for that hype to kick in when it gets closer on December 4th? Or are you on the opposing side? Everything about it looks absolutely stunning, beautiful. You cannot wait to get your hands on it. It is within your grasp, and you are just overloaded with joy because this game is finally coming out. Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I'm always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, it does appear to be skedaddle o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and do just that. I'd like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm Gonzo. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!